Hello, let's set homework. Let's see what homework functionalities we have in the Victomind teacher platform. So login details are sent by the center owner to teacher. So let's use teacher should remember them or write somewhere. So I have, okay, here I am. I'm in the teacher computer screen. Teacher can also access this through phone or through a tablet. Right now I'm using computer, and I will be using, you can use Chrome, Firefox or Opera browsers, whatever you find fit your purpose. So detailed list, as you click on this detailed list, it will show you classes or students. So student is basically to filter just by students, and I'll go by classes, which is more organized by groups and subgroups. So in here, if center owner deactivates classes, you will see them as status inactive or active. So right now I have this class as active. You see which school teacher belongs to. This is teacher's name, it's my name. So let's see, let me view my class. Okay, so here I have my class name and number of active students and total students. So in this screen I will have all the grouping of students that teacher basically classified or promoted or divided into groups, and I'll show what these levels are. So this is a whole list, and let's go to the dashboard stats that shows statistics by students. So this consolidated table shows list of students and then group homework. What group homework was assigned to students and what was their performance. This is individual homework and total homework, which is individual and group. Points earned, this is usually for the last reporting week. Okay, so you will see that some of this will show you 0. This is because this is fresh. They started a new homework cycle. For example, these 14 out of 14, the students, I haven't yet assigned them homework. As soon as I assign it, will show 0 out of whatever, however many group homeworks I gave. So if we go and if we want to see detailed stats, we hover over to the detailed stats. You click plus here, and then this will show student last week statistics. So this will show when period started, when period finished, second column, homework type. This, by the way, this whole page shows the group homework, not individual. So it's important to set homework on the group level and not individual. Individual is more for individual practice to catch up or practice some set of, a specific set of sitting. Okay, so task type, which rule it was. So you may have students on small friends and simple, or you may have students on big friends or combination friends and certain level that you want to keep them practicing and not forget the level. Number of digits, these were practiced at simple 999 were practiced on three digit level, which is again corresponds to hundreds. This was on 2 digits, which corresponds to tens. This was the speed at which student was performing. It was 4 examples at a speed of 2.7 seconds. So hundreds, 999 was practiced at 2.7, and student was doing 4 examples every time the homework was done. The result is 7 out of 7 here. Everything was done. This is statistics. Teacher can clearly see which day, if student basically does homework or forgot or traveling or something, then teacher will know if he or she should go back to an old settings for a student. So this will show the breakdown of homework. So if we go back to consolidated, okay, this will just show 14 homeworks without giving any particular detail as to the individual composition of each, because this will be just grouping all the group homeworks. If this shows 14 homeworks, and this is broken down to 7 on hundreds and then 7 homeworks on tens. So this is a very convenient tool to see how many homeworks the student is doing. And for example, we know that this student just didn't do any homework just once on 27th of August. Here, this was all good. This student has homework. The period starts on 31st of August. It started yesterday. So yesterday in the evening, student didn't do any homework, so finishes on the 6th of September. And student, if student starts doing homework today, then you will see this graph here on 1st of. This is basically a weekly stats graph. Okay, so let's go over to setting a homework. So let's go back to students group. We're hovering back to this tab, back again. We have seen the stats for them, and let's give homework to this group here. So I give homework on a group level because again, the stats that we just saw does not filter or show individual homeworks. So individual is pretty much an auxiliary or supporting homework to help student catch up or practice a specific setting that is not relevant on a group level. So group homework basically shows and helps track stats for a teacher. So I will right click and open in new tab the group homework for this set of students. If you click here and this plus, it opens up all the list of students that are in this particular group. This group is class simple 900. Okay, they are doing 900s. We have group above, they're on small friends, they are on tens. To see each student's performance, I would click open in the new tab and see what was students' performance. So group student homework, student had these tens. I have seen them. I have seen hundreds. And now I will see which homework to give. Okay, so grouping here, so these two students have same, how do you say it? They are on the same level in terms of performance, and this first student, although still on hundreds, these are more advanced on the same rule than this, and it's enough to keep all three of them and sort them out from here by deselecting. So I want to give individual, the group homework just for this student, and we'll give second set of students for these two students. So to see what I gave, I would go over to the group student homework, come here and then show homework. So we had tenth at 0.9 seconds, 10 examples, and everything was done good. So I will try to give homework 10 examples at 0.7 seconds, and let's see if student manages to do this homework. So I will come here, I will go over to simple 9, which is 10th. By the way, the setting here is it will not go beyond student assigned level, and the way you assigned levels here and is by going onto the individual students screen. Let me show it again. Here I will right click, open it in new tab for convenience, and then you will see this modules config, expand, and you will see these modules that student is working on. So if I click on this, this will automatically advance the student on the next subgroup. So this student will be in a different subgroup. I will not do it again, so I'll put it back. We'll minimize, but you see that here you have 2 students. You can have just 1 student and 1 student on this test all, and then 1 student on small friends 100 and small friend 200. This is small friends 1, and it's on hundreds levels, which is 3 digit. Okay, so we have seen that this student was doing tens, simple, 0.9, 10 examples. I'll try to set same group, and you will see these tickers to make sure they're visually kind of giving you a hint which setting to work with. Okay, so we're working with 0.9. I'll try to set this at 0.7 to start getting maximum performance out of this student. Number of examples, I'll try to keep it at 10 examples, should be fine, but you can play around and see if a student is doing better. And you can give 12 examples, and by all means give 12 and 14 and 15 all the way up, because the more student can manage and remember, the better. Advanced settings require student to do more. So once the base, this 0.7 setting at 10 example is over, student will have to do 3 more homeworks to have this whole homework considered as successfully finished. So here a student will have to choose 11 examples. That's why it's called advanced or complicated settings, complications, or we'll have to go on to 0.6, but every single time, 3 times student will have to either increase number of examples or reduce speed. So be careful with that. If you feel that student cannot do or find it hard, then just give 2 complications. Or even if you don't feel like student should do any complications, and untick this, but I advise and suggest that student does be prepared and does this complicated settings or advanced settings to ensure the progress. Okay, points for homework. This is set on a system based, but teacher is free to assign different homework. Sometimes teacher may be talking to a student and student will be asking for more points to encourage student to do more homework and basically improve. So this Soroban ticker is for students that just start at new level, and at some point in time they will have to use physical Soroban put in front of them and then start using fingers to reproduce digits and practice, and then use hands to imprint the rule understand the rule better, and then gradually transition onto the practicing without Saraban. So period start is, I'll set it from today all the way to Sunday. My class is from Monday to Sunday. I didn't do homework yesterday, although I was supposed to, so it's my shortcoming. So, but normally every teacher, as soon as class finishes, I had class on Monday, teacher should give homework from the next day on. If there were no active classes, if there was a very active class, then it's up to teacher. But normally if the class is very active and very intense in-class activities, then normally homework is given the next day all the way to the day before the class. Okay, so I'm working with just this one student. I will submit and I will see this confirmation window saying this teacher has homework. So let's see, I'll go back to hundreds. Here I have hundreds, show homework. I had 900s at 2.7 seconds, 4 examples, 3 complications. I will try to set homework. I will try to always try to give more examples, and we'll be waiting for students' individual capability to catch up, whatever it be. If I need to increase time, then I will go over to 3 seconds, but still will be working around this a number of examples because it's very critical for me. That's what I found. So I will go over to 900 this time. Well, I remember I was at 2.7 seconds and I had 4 examples. That was my old setting. Let's see if I can have this child. For example, is something that student normally remembers, and it's not very hard for them to reproduce and go back to all the movements, all the digits using their memory. 5 examples, 6, 7 is something that it has to be pretty much like more visual, more advanced. The student began this 100 recently, and 100 is working on 3 rods, and I call them 6 quadrants or 6 areas, which is singles on ones, lower beads, earthly beads ones, earthly beads on tens, earthly beads on hundreds, which is 3 areas, and then I have 3 more areas, which is 5 on top, heavenly, and then 50 on top, which is 5th group, and then 500 on top, which is the 6th group. And kids have to see and visualize and remember, operate and remember all these areas. So it's not an easy thing. So going from tens to hundreds requires a lot of effort. So I will try to see how I can make this, turn this 4 example into 5 examples. Okay, so I'm giving this 5 examples, and I will try to increase number of time from 2.7 to 3 seconds. Once this is okay and student can do 5 examples, I will then either give 6 examples and keep it at 3 seconds, or we'll try to reduce this 3-second speed to 2.7, 2.5, and all the way down, and then start working with number of examples. Again, goal to get to 10 examples and 1.5 seconds with hundreds on simple. So number of complications, let's give it 3. So students will have to do 3 times, and it's not hard to go down from 3 seconds to 2.9 and then 2.8. So this plus student will be making points. So the system remembered my time frame. Again, if you want this to be individually different, then by all means go on and set a new set of homework. So by the way, because I'm working with this fresh set of examples, I will give 5 examples on hundreds at 3 seconds. This will be using just memory, the visual, so I'll submit, and I will try to give something with the soroban. So student has to put the soroban in front, abacus, and then work with it. And I will give 10 examples, and 3 seconds should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. If not, then always maintain a contact with student, and if student complains and says I cannot do it, then always go back, delete this homework, and then give a different, using different settings that the student is comfortable with. So I have this soroban, and yeah, pretty much things look good to me. Let's go submit. So in here I will see my student has, let's refresh. Okay, I have simple hundreds. Let's see what that is. Okay, so this is with soroban and 10 examples, and so, and this has a group 1306. So 1306 will be on the hundreds, 10 examples, and soroban. And I have 1305 group 1305, then individually assigned as 16/8/24 for 6th of September, 16/8/23 for 5th of September, and still they will be sharing the same group 1305. This whole group will be for 6 days. And let me see which homework this is. This is hundreds, and I'm sure this is for 5 examples. Yeah, 5 examples, 3 seconds, and it doesn't have a soroban ticker. Oops, oh, I can sign it. It shouldn't be there. Anyway, good. So we know, teacher knows what settings student got. Okay, so this is point that student has so far this week. Our week started, and it's a fresh week, calendar week. Students didn't earn any points. We have total of 1200 points, and available is 1000. It's rounding, meaning that student had something for 200 points, and also student earned 1200 points and then got something for 200, so 1000 points left. And I usually put like 1.1 cent, but it's again up to the center owner to price goods in the center. So whenever student wants to buy something, it will be up to teacher to write off or take points away. Okay, and this will be done here. So if student comes and says I want this toy, then students will come to teacher, and teacher will open up student's profile and then take points from here. So count points, how many points out. Let's say this, I'm giving child something for 50 cents or whatever, like 50 points, right? And then what I'm selling is just put a brief description, so you can come back, teacher can come back and remind student what student bought. So as soon as I have something here, right, I'll submit, and then it will show up here as a new entry. It will show date when this was written and what was given to student for points. Exercise logs is a very convenient feature. It shows which settings student was working on by day, hour, minute, and second. So if you give homework and you see that everything, and you know that the gauging will be to maximize students' performance, so student will be very unlikely to do everything successful. And if you see everything correct, for example, let me show you here. Okay, so this says yes, green, and this says no. So if you see all the yes, every single like big row, then no, student is doing something with the soroban, and it's time to, it's a little alarm, so it's time to contact student's parent and ask to help student ensure that whenever the setting says soroban, it's soroban. If it's not soroban, then it's attempt to do it properly without soroban, because students cannot carry their tools with them all the time, or calculator. The entire purpose is to teach them independence and ability to calculate while developing brain's capabilities. Okay, so this will show a number of examples what student was doing, and we always ask students to work on an incorrect answer. Mistakes are very important, very good, and very critical, and I ask students to pay attention to mistakes, and if they get wrong answer, pause and recalculate. Use this beautiful chance and improve, so next answer will come better and correct. So here at 2 o'clock 9 minutes and 14 seconds student gave this answer, and let's see, this was 0.6. 18 seconds later student is on the different set. Most likely student worked on a different on this wrong answer, and then advanced on and moved on to the next homework. Okay, so 16644, this is an individual one. Student is trying to crack this daily exercise. Work on, so pretty much this is a detailed stats. Teacher will know what's going on to make an accurate assessment of students' performance for this week, to be able to know what setting to give for the coming week. So this is a beautiful opportunity to ensure students' progress. Teacher knows where a student is, and every time parent asks a question on where my child is, this is a beautiful opportunity for a teacher or center owner to access data and be able to understand and ensure progress is made and will deliver results and deliver value, and kids improve. There is no need for us to keep a child if we're not delivering value. Okay, so this was a series on homework, and if you have any questions, then come back. I will work and then give homework for these two students. So I'm pausing right now.